Hi guys, today we're going to look at the equation of a tangent to a circle. Now if you can recall in a previous lesson, we had a circle and a line only touching on the one point. So we'll get into detail how we're going to do that. But just first to make sure that you understand what you'll be able to do afterwards, after we've done all the lessons, you'll be able to find the equation of a tangent. You'll be able to prove that it is a tangent, and you'll be able to solve problems. So that is basically what you're in the end going to be able to do with the information we're giving you. Now, firstly, you need to know and make very sure that you know what a tangent is. If you can recall previously, we had a circle, and we had a point, and then we had a line only touching that circle at one point. It is a straight line, only touching the circle at one point. That is what we call a tangent. And I always say, touch, tangent, that's how you remember. If it only touches the circle once, then we know we are working with a tangent. Good. Now, if you can see the tangent, because it touches the circle only once, it goes just wherever. So if we need to find the equation of a tangent, we need specific steps and a proper method. Now, if I look at this, you will see the formula that you already know. There's your formula for a circle. We do not work with a circle equation if it's not in that format. So if ever they give you a circle equation that is funny and complicated and it doesn't look like that, you go and redo it. It doesn't even matter what the question is. You go and redo it so it looks in the format that you've learned, because in this format you can read off the A and the B, which forms your center point. And you can also read off the R, which is your radius. Good. And then the straight line, which is the tangent. There are two formulae. This is the old one that you know. This is the other one. And as you can recall, I prefer the second formula because you write it down once and you fill in what you need and you've got your answer. But you can pick whichever one you like. Good. Now, if you look at all these steps, the method, it looks quite complicated and looks like a lot of stuff. So I'm not going to go through this. You can pause it at home and read through it slowly as I do the problem. I rather want you to concentrate on what we do. So I'm going to go through the steps one by one. There are 5 steps. I'm going to go through all 5 of them. Let's just see what the question is. Determine the equation of the tangent to the circle. And then they give you this ugly formula, which does not look like a circle formula. So it doesn't actually even matter what they ask me. I need to go and make sure that this is in the proper format. So I need to do that completing of the square. As you can recall, we take the first x squared separately and we add the 6x. And now we need to add half of that, which is plus 3 squared. But before I forget, I'm going to take the 7 over to the right-hand side because that is in my way. I do not need the 7 there. It's not part of my completing of the square. And the minute I add something on that side, I immediately add it on that side. And now I can just make it a 9. You'll see why I leave the left-hand side as 3 square later. Then I'm going to write my y square minus 2y. And I add half the second term, which is minus 1 square. So I'm actually adding 1. And there you've got a trinomial and another trinomial. And that is supposed to give you your squarey brackets for your proper circle format. So you make your squares like that, plus you make the other one like that. And now I can quickly on the right-hand side write 17 because I could add all those figures. But now I know I've done whatever I've done on the left-hand side, I've also done on the right-hand side. So I haven't changed my equation. What do? We check what is underneath the square, which is just the x. We check what is underneath the square, which is plus 3. We do the same here. Underneath the square is the y. Underneath the square is the minus 1. Because there is my square already on the outside. And there's my other square. So to complete the square, you only look at the figure underneath the square. And you write it down here. Be very careful that you have the sign correct as well. Good. That was step 1. Step 2 was to find now the center of your circle. Now we'll see just now why you need that center of the circle. Now you can recall this is x minus a squared plus y minus b square is equal to r square. Can you remember the a and the b after the minus sign represents your center? So if I want to read it off, I'm just going to do it there. Minus 3 and 1. And if you do not know where I got the minus 3 from, remember what I always say. If something is in a bracket and you're not sure, you put it equal to 0 and you get the answer minus 3. And you do the same with y minus 1. So there's my second step. I found the equation of the circle in the proper format. Then I found my center. Now, why do I need that center? So there is my center. There is a point. And there is my equation. Now, I need to just quickly draw that sketch. Minus 3 and 1 is approximately, I'm guessing, C, center. Minus 2 and 5 is approximately there. So I know my circle is going somewhere around here. There is my point, minus 2 and 5. I think that was the point F. Now, once you've got that point, you know that it's not enough information because remember, let's just quickly get our tangent here again. Our tangent looked like that. So to find my tangent equation, I need a point and a gradient. Or 2 points, I need 2 pieces of information. At this stage, I've got that point there. I've got only that 1 point, F. Let's just put F there because I'm going to need it now. Now, the only thing I can do now is to go into my circle and use my circle information to find some more information. And in the back of my mind, I've got m because y is equal to mx plus c. I need m for a straight line equation. Now, you know this is the radius. The radius is the shortest distance between the center and the circumference of the circle. So if I draw a line at a specific point, and I want the shortest distance to that line, it will always be a perpendicular line. Now, the minute I say the word perpendicular, you know a formula for perpendicular. So you know that, this is step 3. You know that m1 times m2 is equal to minus 1. So if I can find the gradient of my radius, which I've got a lot of information for, I can then also find the gradient of my tangent. So let's just fill in this point C was minus 3 and 1. So I'm going to do the gradient of CF. I'm going to use y of C minus y of F over x of C minus x of F. And I'm going to fill it in there, empty brackets. Once I filled it in, I must just, and remember now, I'm not numbering it x2, y2 anymore because I've got now a c and a f. So I'm just going to go to y of c, which is 1, minus 5, x of c, which is minus 3, minus 2. And if I work this out, it's minus 4 over 2 minus 3 is minus 1. So that gives me 4. The minute I've got my radius's gradient, remember, very common mistake. Many people just now use this gradient to go to their straight line. This is the radius's gradient. I need the tangent's gradient because I need the tangent's equation. So then I'm going to immediately write. So therefore, my gradient of my tangent is the other sign. This was a plus. So I need to change the sign and I need to flip around that 4. 4 is actually 4 over 1. So if I flip it around, it's minus a quarter. So there is the gradient of my tangent, and there is the point on my tangent. Be very careful because many people now use the center point. The center point has got nothing to do with your tangent. So once you now write down, so we've found the gradient there. Once we now write down y minus y1 is equal to m times x minus x1. You remember that is the formula I prefer to use. Then I can just go and fill in. I make sure that I make my empty brackets, and then I'm going to fill in the point F, which is minus 2 and 5. So I prefer to write it here so that I can clearly see the y was 5, the m we worked out to be minus a quarter, and the x1 was minus 2. So if I now simplify this, it's minus a quarter x plus 2 times minus is minus a half. If I bring over the 5, it gives me 5 minus a half, which is 4.5. And if you check your sketch there, remember it's not drawn to scale at all, but it is possible that that y-intercept could be 4.5. So there is my equation of my tangent. That is what they asked. I've went through all 5 steps. Now, if you go back to the steps, you can... Now, I numbered some of them, but you know what? You're not going to number your steps. You're going to just have those steps one after the other in your head so that you are very sure that if we ask you to do a tangent equation, which is a definite exam question, there's not one exam, I don't think there's one, that ever hasn't got a tangent equation that you must find, because they are testing so many skills of yours. They're testing your gradient, they're testing perpendicular lines, they're testing a straight line and a circle. So there are so many things, and it also counts a lot of marks. So if you can do this one, redo it a few times. That's why I'm going to take it off now so that you've got no idea, because remember, once one has got an idea, then you, let me just get my eraser again. Once you've got an idea, then the seed is planted, and then you will know what to do. And in an exam, nobody's going to plant that seed for you. And luckily, after you've done it all on your own, you will have the answer written out neatly. You can just pause at each page if you're not sure and check. There is the gradient that we worked out, but that was the gradient of the radius. So we needed the gradient of the tangent, which is now flipped around with the other sign. And then we just fold it into our formula. And once we've done that, we've got our problem done. A lot of marks, actually very easy, as long as you remember step by step which one to work out, because the tangent is very loose cannon there on the side. It's got only 1 point, and you need some more information, and you use the gradient of the radius to get that more information. Good luck. I'll see you next time.